Why is Batman jealous of Superman?
Why?
Superman got adopted.
Oh, damn. That's a low blow. So today my son asked, can I have a bookmark? And I burst into tears because after 4 years, he still doesn't know that my name is Anthony. Ba-dum-ba. Ah.
What's Batman's favorite fruit?
What?
Banana, grapefruit.
All right. Let's get on with the show. Oh my God.
AP fails to build a utopia with Megalopolis, and I dive into madness with Joker, Folie à Deux, on this week's episode of Whatcha, Watchin. Welcome to Whatcha, Watchin, presented by Geeky A Go-Go, a show where we talk about the next binge-worthy series, uncover hidden streaming gems, and give you our opinions on the latest cinematic blockbusters and flops. Grab your snacks and let's start the show. Joining me today in the Go-Go is Anthony.
Hi. Hello.
Hey,
What's happening?
how you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm good, pal. I like our new intro. It's I feel like it's much more enticing. I mean, I liked our old intros too, don't get me wrong, but this one, after 46 episodes, 47 episodes, figured shake it up a little bit, right?
Why not?
Why not?
Gotta get people on their toes.
That's exactly right. So what's your highlight this week or in low light?
Highlight. I'm okay. I'm gonna start with highlight, so you could end with highlight.
All right, sounds good. All right,
so highlight. I'm about 95% done with my Halloween decorating.
95%,
complete new record, right? However, we did start in September. Usually, my wife and I, we literally hit October 1st, and then we everything needs to go outside immediately, and then it takes us the entire month to go put things out.
Sure.
But we did start slightly early this year. Listen to our last episode, and you'll know that we started last week. And we only haven't finished because a couple things broke, and I had to order some stuff from Amazon. And then there's a couple very surface things that I have to put out, but it's literally pretty much done.
Nice.
Right? If you roll by my house, it's pretty much what it's going to look like on Halloween. The low light is kind of tight, and I kind of hinted at it, right? I went to order a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, okay, great, this is going to come in, and it'll be here tomorrow, next day, or overnight delivery, whatever the case may be. And then I go to hit purchase, and I was like, oh wait, hold on, I need this other thing. And I go back. Total first world problem, folks. Okay. So I added the next thing to the cart, went to go make the purchase, and it shifted everything by a day. And I'm like, oh. So yeah. So I have to wait for that stuff to arrive so I can put the finishing touches on the decorating. Otherwise, we would have been today. I think we would have been 100% done if that stuff had showed up yesterday. What are you gonna do? Like I said, first world problems.
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have. But yeah, I think I'll get over it.
that Amazon shipping, like those dates, it's wild. Like how quickly they change and how they change depending on what's in your cart. Like it'll say comes tomorrow, order now. So you add that, and then you add something else, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, it arrives in 3 days instead of tomorrow. What happened? They have the weird, I don't know, they're crushing it, so they're doing something right, but it's wacky.
I probably could have gone somewhere and bought it, but it would have wasted 2 or 3 hours trying to find it and where to go. And
sure,
so I was like, you know what, it's fine. Again, total first world problem to have. If that's the lowest thing I had to deal with all week, fine, I'll take it. What about you? What was your low light? Because we're ending on highlights.
Okay, my low light, we're going to talk about in today's show. It was called Megalopolis by Francis Ford Coppola. That was my low light. The fact that I wasted a Cinemark credit on... I did. So angry about that. That was my low light. But my highlight, yeah. So we'll talk more about mega. What the hell is this? In a little bit. But my highlight is with you. I have my Halloween decor up, and I love it because I have like the boards over my windows, and I've changed all the landscaping lighting to be red and green. It's almost like Freddy Krueger colors, and there's just something that brings me more joy to my ego when people stop and just take pictures of my house. You probably get this too because you have a Halloween wonderland, you have a winter wonderland. It's just something really fun about that. My whole graveyard is set up, and so now I'm trying to figure out like what's next. I'm gonna try, if I have time and energy, I want to make a Beetlejuice tombstone with the light up Beetlejuice sign pointing at it, to go into my graveyard. So I'm going to try to do that this weekend, and I'll probably post the tutorial on my YouTube channel. But yeah, so that's my highlight. Is Halloween is in full swing here at Casa Pizzuto.
Nice, awesome.
Yes.
Are you? I mean, you're gonna make it life size, the Beetlejuice,
Oh
Beetlejuice.
yeah, absolutely. It's going to be up here.
Are you gonna have like the marquee lights, like single bulbs, or are you
I'm
gonna
going to
do something
try
like
to.
LED?
I'm going to try to do marquee
Ah,
bulbs.
you are
Yeah.
crazy, man.
I am.
We're a week into October, and you're gonna try to do this huge prop.
Yeah.
I have faith in you.
Well, now
I
that I've
know,
said it.
I know you're capable. Okay, but you're gonna finish this like on November 1st.
Challenge accepted.
We got stuff going on this month. What do you got? New York Comic Con's coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do attend, which I doubt, I don't see it happening, but the Montclair Film Festival, we would like. That's a bucket list thing we like to do.
Yep.
So yeah,
I know. I know.
we got busy weekends, bud.
Plus, I have 2 weeks that I'm traveling as well, so it's gonna
Oh,
be, yeah. There's a lot going on. So yes, I hope that I can get this done in time. It might be a 25 project, but yeah, I'm gonna do it. When
okay.
when is good is the key. So all right.
That's one of those things where like I'd leave up year round.
I
That's
know. Yeah,
awesome prop.
exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
it's I've seen some folks do them and they come out really nice. I have the skeletons, the little baby skeletons, that I need to morph into monkey flying monkey skeletons. So I have all the stuff for that.
nice.
But yeah, so
All right, cool. Uh, let's keep it on you before we start the show.
ah,
Let's do our little advertisement here for our Patreon.
yes, definitely. So before we dive into our What You Watching rounds, head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo and consider supporting the show. It costs us money to put this production on, and we could use all the help we can get. If you're strapped for cash, there is a free tier that gives you access to our Discord server, so you can at least join in on the conversation between episodes. We post fun things like our after party content where we let our hair down and complain about the Greek gods, or Taylor Goodson's review of Beetlejuice, all kinds of fun stuff that doesn't make it into the main show. You don't want to miss it. So head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo. Okay, Nitro, what you watching?
Anthony and folks, this week I actually got to go to the movies twice.
What?
Yep, I made a game time decision after work, and I said I'm gonna go see a midnight showing of my first pick here, which is Joker, Folie, Deux.
Ooh.
My French is terrible; it is non-existent, so I don't know if I pronounced that properly. I think it's Folie à Deux.
Hmm,
Whatever, close enough for the
close
American
enough.
market, right?
Yep.
uh, which translates for people that didn't know, is madness of two.
Ooh.
So I going into the theater knowing not knowing the translation. Shame on me. I should have known what it meant because it fits much more. And before I get into the movie itself, folie à deux is actually a psychological condition.
Hmm.
It's a real psychological condition. So if I had known that going in, it would have made more sense to me
Oh, interesting.
beforehand. Like obviously you get the thing that, the Joker and Harley Quinn, they're
Mm-hmm.
like crazy for each other and just crazy and stuff like that. But the psychological condition, it's like it's kind of like you're crazy because someone else very close to you is crazy. So you kind of like mix together and stuff like that. That's
Sure.
obviously not a medical diagnosis thing or dictionary definition, but something to that effect. So yeah, knowing that title, the movie would have made more sense
Mm-hmm.
being
Okay.
connected to the title,
Sure.
knowing the definition rather. So um, the Joker or Joker 2, as some people are calling it, Folie Deux, obviously based on the DC comic villain, the Joker, and Harley Quinn, um, played by Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga, respectively. Um, Film directed by Todd Phillips. I I I really wanted to like it. Like
No.
I want to give it a lot of disco balls. However,
Oh.
you kind of spoiled it for me a little bit. We talked about this over lunch one day. You
Yeah.
said it was a musical, and I refuse to believe you, man. I was like, okay, there'll be musical segments. Lady Gaga's in it, like, and you're like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's going to
Yeah.
be a musical, and I'm like, and then I went and saw it, and I'm like, this is too much musical. It is like they're singing, and then like there's responses in song, but that
Oh.
the responses are different songs, and then like they go from one song right into a different song, and I'm like, whoa, like
Mm-hmm.
how, like, again, but knowing the title of the movie, it makes sense, right? They
Mm-hmm.
are literally insane. They're in Arkham.
Oh,
um
okay.
so it's one of those things where like we're playing there's a play on words here. um it fits, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
literally two crazy people, crazy for each other, right? And also crazy. um and then it overdid it, in my opinion.
It overdid the musical, or it overdid.
Overdid the musical part.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I think people were expecting more of a character progression
Mm-hmm.
of like the Joker becoming more of the Joker.
Okay.
And we were going to see crimes and maybe an introduction to Batman, or
Okay.
like I feel that's what most of the people thought. I have not looked at any ratings on purpose.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, if I had to guess, I think it's a toss up. I think it maybe half the people didn't like it, half the people did. Um, the issue the issue that I took with it was the, like I said, the extreme musical aspect of it.
Is the musical aspect of it? Ooh. Um.
You
I
saw
just looked at the
something.
scores. I just saw the scores.
Let's save
Is
it
the
for a bit.
music? We'll save it. Is the musical aspect explained at all, or is it just part of the reality?
Um, it starts with an animated musical sequence, kind
Oh,
of,
interesting. Okay.
right? Which I forgot what the name of the character who I'm completely blanking. What is his name?
Joker? Arthur Fleck?
No, the actor's name. Who did he off in the previous film?
Oh,
Why am I
I
blanking?
I don't know.
Robert De Niro.
Right. Yes, he was the game show, not the game show host, the late night TV host, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I when the movie started, you have this like sequence of like he's going into the talk show,
Okay.
right? And I'm thinking, oh, does he have his own talk show now?
Got it.
Right? Because like he's doing this underworld thing, and this is how he's getting his message out. But again, it was like an animated sequence. It was like overly done,
Hmm.
or stylistically done in that same vein of like Robert De Niro's character's late night talk show kind of thing. So then we go from that to he's locked up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is all in his head, and I'm like, okay, now I'm getting One
Okay.
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest vibes,
Okay.
right? So it works, but then while he's locked up, he's being set up for trial. We get introduced to Harvey Dent, um, and um, some decisions are made in terms of timeline that I'm like, this is a little weird. How is this going to tie into Batman? Um, and so, that goes on and on, and in it's not Arkham Asylum. It's like Arkham something or Arkham State Hospital. That's what they call
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's like different wards for different levels of people who have issues.
Sure.
So Harleen Quinzel, she calls
Mm.
herself Lee in the film, um, is in a less, what's the word, less lockdown ward,
Yeah, like
and
minimum
in
security or something like that.
yeah, something like that. So
Yeah.
like minimum security. There's the patients can come in and out or something like that, like outpatient services or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's in that situation,
Okay.
and um the Joker is being paraded through the hallway for some reason. He's going to a meeting, he's going to see his lawyer, something like that, and he walks by this ward where Harleen is in, and they're doing musical therapy.
Okay.
And that's kind of where the thing it blossoms, right? Because he sees her singing, and she makes eye contact with him, and then it's just butterflies and rainbows and things like that start
Sure.
happening. And so yeah, that's where the music starts, I believe, in the
Okay.
film.
Got it.
um and like I said, that a lot of this, like, at some point he wakes up and he's like, are you even here? Because she ends up in like a, what's it called, like the hole,
Okay. Yeah.
solitary
Solitary.
confinement.
Mm-hmm.
So he like opens his eyes, sees her, and he's like, are you even here right now? Like, are you real?
Oh, interesting.
So again, it plays very well into the mind.
Sure.
um so those are the things I could understand and I liked and whatnot. But did everybody like it? I'm gonna guess not. Right.
Yeah.
So you're telling me now?
So I'm going to tell you a couple things. Joker opened this past Thursday, was probably their preview, and officially opened on Friday night. It owned the weekend. The weekend is still going, but it's owned the weekend so far at $40 million. The Wild Robots come in at 18.7 million. Beetlejuice is still in third for several weeks. It's been out for several weeks now, so it's good that it's holding up there at 10.3. Transformers 1 at 5.4, and Speak No Evil at 2.8. So it's owned the weekend, but obviously because it's the big release of the weekend. But what did the audience have to say about it? Well, based off of 264 reviews, it has a 33% on the tomato meter. Yikes. Popcorn meter, 2,500 plus verified ratings, 30%. This movie is no bueno.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Critics' consensus: Joaquin Phoenix's eponymous Joker takes the stand in a sequel that dances around while the story remains still. Although Lady Gaga's wild card energy gives Folie à Deux some verve. Yeah, that's a shame. And then Joker original 2019 was actually a 68% on the tomato meter with 602 reviews and 89% on the popcorn meter at 50,000. I feel like this movie, because of its art housey type of vibe that the original 2019 one came with, I feel like this is going to be one of those kind of like slow burn to indifference versus
Yes.
versus the immediate distaste that it's already seen in its opening weekend. So I mean, it looks interesting. I'm kind of intrigued now. I was not a fan of the first one. Um, I I've liked what I've seen in the trailers, especially of Lady Gaga. I've never been a big Gaga fan, but I've been interested to see how she kind of turns this And she worked with Todd Phillips, I believe, in A Star Is Born. Was she in that?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I believe she was in that. So, anyway, I'm curious. I might go check it out. So how many disco balls will you bestow upon this, if any? Joker 2.
So I was gonna be in line with everybody else
Mm-hmm.
and give it 2 disco balls,
Oh, okay.
but something happens at the very end.
Oh, okay.
Like if you blink, you will miss it.
Oh, okay.
Like it is that quick, and you have to pay attention.
Okay.
It's like in the background too.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like I said, it's really one of those things where if you blink, you will miss it. Um, and it's in the background and whatnot, but it ties to something.
Ooh,
So
okay.
because of that, I'm bumping it up to 3.
Okay. Oh, I'm
Um,
intrigued now.
yes. There is no after credits or anything like that for anybody
Okay.
that wants to go see it. I'll save you the googling.
Thank you.
There's no, so it is literally at the end of the film,
Okay.
before it fades to black, so to speak. Um,
Got it.
and yeah, so yeah, that little thing, right, gives it a whole nother disco ball in my
Yeah.
book.
All right. Oh,
Um,
I'm so intrigued now. Oh, man.
I did like how you worded it, right? This may be more of a cult thing. This may be
Mhm.
more of like a thing where people actually start thinking about what's going on the screen.
Yeah.
They need to maybe rewatch it and like start picking up on the little nuances and
Yeah.
whatnot that's going on. Sitting in the movie for over 2 hours. I think it's like a 2 hour, 15-ish minute runtime.
Got it.
So plus trailers, you're in the movies for almost 3 hours at that point.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So this may be a sit down and watch it at home
Yeah.
kind of situation. I did enjoy going to see it. Um, like I said, that very last thing. I'm not going to spoil it because you
Okay.
haven't seen it, and
Yeah.
you're very intrigued now.
Yeah.
Um, I'm telling people, obviously 3 is not very high. Okay,
No.
3
Yeah.
disco
Yeah.
balls is not very high, but it's one of those things where like if you're a DC Comics fan, if you're a fan of the Joker, the
Mhm.
original film, uh, Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, all these things, if you're fans of them, put it on your lists, put it on your queues. Definitely take the time to go watch it.
Mhm.
You can spend a Cinemark credit on it,
Okay. All right. And I'll
or
feel bad
AMC
about it.
stubs or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Right.
Not sponsors, okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
All right.
solid. That, like I said, that very last tiny thing at the end, I was
Wow.
like, boom, okay, you guys earned it. You earned a whole nother disco ball.
Damn. Okay. All right. Okay. I can't wait to see it. I might sneak out. I might play hooky this week and go see like a matinee or something in between meetings, if I can line it up correctly. But yeah, now I'm intrigued. So
Yes.
damn it, Nitro.
All right, we'll keep it moving.
All right.
Anthony, what you watching?
Well, also in theaters this week, Megalopolis, or Mega, what the hell is this? Or
Poopolis.
Megapopolis. Yeah, I like that one. Megapopolis. Wow. Um, we see lots of movies. There's very few movies I leave the theater going, what the hell did I just watch? Like, and I think I posted this on Facebook, and I may have messaged y'all in the Discord too, but this is the scenario. Super rich guy, super rich old guy, uh, makes his passion project, and there's no one around him to say no. That's exactly what this is. And it's funny, I posted that and James Hannon was like, I thought you were talking about George Lucas and the prequels. So and it's what's wild about that is George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola like were partners back in the 70s. So like Francis Ford Coppola and Lucas started American Zoetrope together, I think. Or at least George Lucas worked for him there. So it's funny that there was that kind of, so Megalopolis in a nutshell, if I It's like an acid trip. It's like a really bad acid trip. It's about Adam Driver is the city planner of a New York City type of metropolis, and he wants to kind of build this utopia within the confines of the city. He's developed this material that just makes building easier and better. Um, that's it in a nutshell. Like, I don't know what happened in this movie. I don't understand the point of this movie. And what kills me is that every famous person that's ever existed, I think, is in this movie. You have Adam Driver, you have Giancarlo Esposito, you have Natalie Emmanuel, you have Aubrey Plaza, you have Shia LaBeouf, you have John Voight, for crying out loud. Lawrence Fishburne. I didn't know John Voight was still alive. He's barely alive, but he was in this movie. Lawrence Fishburne, who's also the narrator of it, Talia Shire, Jason Schwartzman. Literally everybody is in this movie. This movie cost $120 million to produce, and from what I understand, Francis Ford Coppola, and I didn't do my research about this, so I'm telling you because I heard it from somebody who's close to the Lionsgate, that he sold a lot of his stake in the winery to produce this. So this is all of his money. The distributor is just distributing it to distribute it. Unfortunately, though, it opened 2 weekends ago, I think. I mean, it's not even really ranked on any of the box offices right now. As of right now, it's worldwide is at $8.5 million. $8.5 million. He spent 120 million. Domestically, it was 6.5 million. I think it opened to maybe 500,000 million, maybe. It's bombed. This is what happens, like I said, when you don't surround your people that you trust to say no to you. And it's a shame. It is a spectacle of a film. Like, there's a lot going on, but there is zero narrative structure to it. It was just poorly written. The acting, the direction to the actors is it's almost community theater like the acting, and these are some very talented actors, but like I could just picture the direction of play it goofy or play it silly or play it amateurish or play it sophomoric. Like, I was just shocked at what I saw in this film. So I you haven't have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm thinking out loud here, right? So I did read into the film,
Yeah.
right? Because
Okay.
I had to write the intro for the show.
Yes.
Um, I this completely slipped under my radar, right? When you have that many big names, I'm like, this is gonna be promoted the crap out of, right?
Right.
But nope, I didn't know it came out until it came out.
Yeah.
Um, this this is one of those things where he's 85,
Wow. Okay.
right?
Yep.
This is the guy that did The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy that does The Godfather, he
Yep.
says, "I want you to be in my movie."
Yeah.
You say, "Yeah, sure, no problem." But to your point, I think maybe time's ticking. This has been pushed off forever because he's
Mm-hmm.
tried many times to get this off the ground.
Mm.
Um, and then just said, "You know what? What what am I going to do with wine money that when I'm
Yeah.
85 years old? What am I going to do with that?" Right? I'm
Sure.
just going to do this is my passion project. I want to do it. I'll just put it up. I'll get it out there. Um, and his spouse passed away
Mm.
back in April.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's been doing this through COVID or something like that. I think I
Mm-hmm.
read.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a weird movie. I can only liken it to an acid trip. It's bright, it's flashy, there's nothing makes sense about it. Um, I mean, some of the performances were pretty good, but again, you could just see that the direction was like, don't take this seriously. And I don't know if that was on purpose or what, because it just didn't. nothing made sense about this film. Nothing made sense about this film. Um, and okay, let's see what the tomato score is. Oh, okay, so it's slightly better than Joker. 46% on the tomato meter, with 254 reviews, and 34% on the popcorn meter with 500 plus verified ratings. That's mostly because not a lot of people have seen it. And the critics' consensus is pretty much what I'm saying. It's more of a creative manifesto than a cogent narrative feature. Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis is an overstuffed opus that's equal parts stimulating and slapdash. That's it. Nailed it. That's exactly what it is. And so, unfortunately, I am bestowing upon this. I don't know. Have I ever done this? I'm going to say 0 disco balls.
Wow.
It was that bad. It was that bad. 0 disco balls. I there's a twinge of guilt because I feel like that might be construed as elder abuse. But
whoa.
But no, it's a look. We've all heard the stories about how George Lucas has like a tank and a bunch of stuff in his backyard, and he just shoots these $1 million home movies, but he keeps them to himself. This movie, if you want to make your creative manifesto, why leave on this note? Why leave on this note? Because I can't imagine he's going to be doing a lot more at 85 on the big screen. He's done some things, but most of them have been shorter, straight to streaming. But like, this is, like you said, this is The Godfather. This is Apocalypse Now. This is the dad of Sofia Coppola, who's produced some award-winning, phenomenal content. It's the uncle of Nicolas Cage. Like, there is a whole dynasty, Hollywood, San Francisco dynasty here. Don't leave on such a low note. So if any filmmakers are listening to this, keep your crazy to yourself. Yeah, 0 disco balls. Don't keep your crazy to yourself. That's wrong. I shouldn't have said that. But no, if you're going to do something this big, make sure you have people on the journey with you who you can collaborate with to take it to the next level, to take it to the right level. I truly feel that there was just no one there to say, no, you're not going to do this, because he funded it himself. He wrote it. He directed it. He didn't have a studio to say, this isn't going to work. And that's his MO. Good for him. But he's not ever going to see that $120 million ever again. So
I wonder, and you guys make fun of me all the time, because it's true. You should make fun of me. He, as far as I can tell, he hasn't done anything Italian since The Godfather, right? Mm-hmm. Overtly Italian, I should say.
Yeah.
And this is literally a retelling of things from Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously set in the future, whatever. So did he feel like he wanted his legacy, because he's Italian, he would know this, right?
Sure.
Did he want his legacy to, he wanted to do something for Italian Americans, whatever, his people, his history, or whatever. He wanted to bring that to the forefront. And I mean, it's kind of a joke nowadays of like people thinking about the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So did he, do you, any one of these things, right? He's 85 years old. Maybe this is his last hurrah. I mean, at 85, I wouldn't want to be like diving into making another film, because, you know, that takes 2-3 years to do sometimes. And
sure.
Is he pushing films out at 90? I don't know anyone has ever done that.
No,
folks, write in and tell us if people are pushing movies out at 90 years old. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's sad to see. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's and I'm just looking at his directing credit, because he's produced American Zoetrope. He through that he's produced a ton of things. Like, I didn't realize Zoetrope did Jeepers Creepers too. Like, that was, so the last thing he did Bram Stoker's Dracula in 92, Jack in 1996, The Rainmaker in 97, and then these next ones between like 2000, I don't know any of these. Supernova, Tetro, no idea. But to your point about like the Italian connection, 100%. Like it's very Shakespearean. Lots of Julius Caesar references, some Hamlet references as well. Like it's just there's a mishmash of stuff going on here. It was very convoluted, confusing, and again, I left the theater going, I have no idea what this movie is about. So there's that. Zero disco balls. I'm gonna have to go back through the archive to see if I've ever given zero disco balls.
Zero. I think
Zero.
I'm willing to bet that it's the first time. Zero disco balls.
Yeah.
And you've seen some bad stuff.
I've seen some bad stuff. Well, wait till round 2.
Ooh, okay.
This is going to be AP's crap episode.
All right.
All right. So Nitro, round 2, what you watching?
So my second foray into the cinema this week was with the kids. We wanted to do something together, and they found out this was coming out, so they were like, "Oh, I definitely want to see it." And so we went and saw The Wild Robot. I did not read about any of this beforehand, so give me a second.
Yeah.
I know it's based on a book series,
Oh,
right?
okay.
The books. So I don't want to dwell on this too much, right?
Yeah.
There are 3. I know there are 3 books because my daughter has read them. She was excited about that with knowing that the books existed, and she's read the books, and then knowing the movie was coming out. So she's read all the books, and we got to talk to her a little bit afterwards, comparing the books to the movies and stuff like that. So she was telling me there are some different things in it and whatever. But you kind of hinted at it before. It did pretty well in the box office already for being out for 2 weeks now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Its budget was 78 million, and its box office is 100 million thus far,
Nice.
according to Wikipedia. So maybe that's whatever. It's very. It's one of those kids movies that has a message,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is, nature's important. Everyone should work together. We need to be friends. Things like that.
Sure.
But I think it did very well. There are a lot of talented people that voice the characters. Lupita Nyong'o is the main character. She plays Roz, the robot. And Pedro Pascal is in it. Bill Nighy is in it. Stephanie Sue. Mark Hamill is in it. Catherine O'Hara is in it.
Oh my God.
Ving Rhames is in it. Like great actors. And the premise of the film is Roz is a service robot, right?
Okay.
They're meant to be like helpers around the home and do things for you and build and blah 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 blah. And I guess on a delivery, it got crash landed into this island of an ecosystem. And the robot activates and is looking for a human to serve.
Okay.
Right? Like what? And all it finds is animals. Right? It keeps and the animals are like terrified of it, and they're all running away, and they don't know what to do. And so after scouring this island, top to bottom, all around, it doesn't find a single human. So it decides, I'm going to learn how to speak to the animals.
Okay.
Right. So it literally goes into this like hibernation mode, and it starts like listening. It just sits there and it listens to the animals talking to each other. Right. And as the thing, it's like a fast forward sequence. It starts translating. And then after a period of time, it now can speak to all the animals. Right. This robot is like super advanced and whatever. And now it can speak to animals. and that's where the film just changes it to English. Everything is English now, right? So
Oh,
instead
that's
of animal
cool.
chitters and robots
Yeah,
speaking
yeah.
English, now it's everybody's English.
That's
So
neat.
they did a whole thing, and um, you know, Roz learns about the ecosystem and how the animals interact with each other, and she ends up somehow destroying a nest, a goose nest,
Mm-hmm.
and with the exception of one egg,
Okay.
and the egg hatches, and it's a little gosling, and the gosling, as we've heard this before with other animals, and the gosling imprints on the first thing it sees. So now this little gosling sees Roz, and now the gosling is following Roz around like crazy.
Are you my mother?
Uh, yes, basically, right? And um, you know, Roz is now trying to get away from the gosling. The gosling keeps following Roz,
Yeah.
and then they Roz bumps into another animal, and the animal's like, "You're its mama." And she's like, "I can't be its mama. I have to find a task. Like I have to go, find a human to give me a task." And then the animal, who happens to be a possum, says, "Your task is you have to raise this gosling." And then
Okay.
all the bells and whistles start clicking, and it's like, "Oh, I have a task now." And they're like, "Well, what do I do?" You have to feed it, you have to teach it how to swim, and you have to teach it how to fly.
Right.
And then we're going through the whole thing of like, okay, how do I teach a gosling how to fly? How do I teach a gosling how to swim? And like, so this whole thing happens. And then we learn that the gosling's name is Brightbill. They're actually a runt.
Okay.
They would have never survived if they were hatched in the nest naturally.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right. So Roz, obviously kills its mother, kills all the other eggs too. And so this gosling only survives because Roz is taking care of it.
Wow. It's a very
So
dark film.
it is,
Yeah.
but it's done in a kid way. It's
Okay.
nothing really crazy. And obviously hilarity ensues and things like that. Like this robot is literally teaching the thing to fly.
Sure.
To its own detriment and whatnot. There's familial tropes and things like
Mm-hmm.
that of like, does it have to be the same species to be family and things like that. Um, and so, yeah, lots and lots of things happen. And in the end, happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kid's movie. It's going to be happy ending. Um, I don't want to ruin it for everybody. You should let your kids watch it. It's a great film. Done very well by DreamWorks.
Nice.
Animation style is great. I loved the whole thing. My kids loved it. Fantastic. My kids are 10 and 7 for folks listening. For age appropriateness, it is a rated PG movie here in the United States. Great movie.
Great movie. All right. Disco balls.
I am going to give it 4 disco balls.
Ooh, okay.
And if people are wondering, this movie is only based on the first book.
Okay. Do you think they'll make a series out of it?
I guess there's potential for it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other books are. I didn't talk to my daughter about it. But yeah.
Nice. Would my 4-year-old like it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I have to maybe I'll take them this week or next weekend. All right, 4 disco balls. Very nice.
Now I'm curious what tomato meter and all that.
So tomato meter, let's see. We got I bet it's going to be pretty fresh. What's it called again? It's
The Wild Robot.
Wild Robot. Wild Robot. Up 98 for both tomato meter and popcorn meter. You got a winner.
Home run for DreamWorks. Good job, everybody.
That's awesome. Yeah, 98% out of 164 reviews, 98% popcorn meter, 2,500 verified ratings.
Nice. Cool.
Well done, Wild Robot. Are you ready to hear my next
No.
snore?
So we're supposed to end on a high note.
Oh my, I know, but I just watched so much crap this week, I guess. Because so much new crap that I'm usually interested in came out this week and it just ended up being crap. So on October 3rd, so back to Thursday of last week, Salem's Lot came to Max. And so Salem's Lot is a Stephen King novel that came out in mid 70s. It was probably his fourth or fifth book, maybe. And it's a vampire book. I think it's his first vampire book. And it's a really good book. It takes place in the town of Jerusalem's Lot. So that's where Salem's Lot. It's the nickname of the town, Jerusalem's Lot. Jerusalem's Lot, Maine. And the storyline is this gentleman moves to the town, buys an old house where some bad things happened, and he and his partner open up a antique store. And come to find out, his partner is a vampire and stealing the kid or killing the kids and adults, and trying to take over the town, and turning them into zombies and stuff like that. That's it in a nutshell. There was a made-for-TV movie that came out, probably in the late 70s as well. I've never seen it. I've always wanted to see it. And then there was another series, I believe, that came out in the early 2000s. So it's had a couple, appearances on screen. So this came out, like I said, this past Thursday. And so I read the book. A few things. First, I read the book a couple years back, maybe 5 years ago, and unfortunately, I don't remember it the way I remember like Stephen King's It, which I've read now 5 times. But I remember it was a vampire story and all this stuff. Watching the movie, I feel like they took a lot of creative liberties, and I'm going to have to do some like compare and contrast between the book and the movie that came out on Max, because it felt very different from what I remember reading. I mean, the essence of vampires is obviously there. The town is there. It takes place in Maine. The character names are relatively the same, but there just seemed to be a lot of strange differences in the film. The other thing that really bugged me about this movie is that I I grew up watching the made for TV Stephen King movies, like, and being a Mainer, like we all got excited, oh, a new Stephen King movie is coming to ABC. It's going to be a 6-parter, 3 hours every Sunday night for the next 6 weeks. We would have parties and chew off fireworks because Main Zone is making it big still. This very much had the vibe of a made for TV movie. The acting was bad, the writing was choppy, like there was just, again, maybe I'm just too critical. I don't know. Maybe I need to relax. Maybe I need to just chill out. But the writing just seemed off. The acting was weird, and it just gave that, and the filming, just the film quality had a very made for TV vibe. It's hard to explain. You have to like, next time you and I are watching, I'll show you footage of this and I'll point out like, this is something that you'd see on TV. You wouldn't see this on the big screen in a movie theater. And I don't know if that was a budgetary thing or like just the skill set of those who were involved. So now, as I've been kind of poking around into it for today's episode, Gary Dauberman was the director of this, as well as the writer. And Gary Dauberman was the writer and director and producer, I believe, on It, the new It. Yes, It Chapter 2. Oh, and 1. He was the writer of 1, and he was the executive producer and writer of Chapter 2. And I did not like those movies. It was the most, they were the highest revenue generating horror films of all time was Stephen King's It 2017, and I hated it. I just did not like it. I felt like it strayed too much from the book. It's hard to hold a candle to Tim Curry's Pennywise. I just was not a fan. And I also felt like that had a made for TV movie quality to it. So it's interesting that he did that as well. Now that I'm kind of saying this all out loud. Um, that all being said, it's not a zero disco ball for me. And I'm not going to do my disco ball real quick because I did actually have a couple cast call outs. Lewis Pullman was in this. I have not been aware of Lewis Pullman at all, but I believe that's Bill Pullman's son, right? I think it
I don't
is.
know. Is it?
I think because they look alike. Anyway, I guess he was in Top Gun Maverick. I don't remember him in that. But he is the main character in this. He plays Ben Meir, the main character in this. And it was just, I liked Bill Pullman. He was a great actor. And so it was kind of nice to see his son, kind of following in daddy's footsteps. And
very weird, right? So
yeah,
I'm looking at Lewis Pullman's details
yeah,
on IMDb, and it
yeah.
says parents, Tamara Pullman. That's it.
No, that's it.
You click on Tamara Pullman. Tamara Pullman has been married to Bill Pullman since January 3rd, 1987. They have 3 children. What? Like, IMDb, fix your website.
That's weird. I mean, was Bill Pullman canceled? Like, I don't remember him doing
No.
bad things. I know he's passed away, but anyway, so it was nice to see that. But like just the acting in this and the writing, it was just bad. It was bad. And I was excited about this because, like I said, I'd never seen the original. I'd never seen a screen adaptation of this. And this was just a big old disappointment. Forgettable. Um, yeah, so Ben Mears is an author. Most of Stephen King's films or movies or books have an author as the protagonist. Ben Mears comes to town of Jerusalem's Lot, where he grew up, and he just kind of finds himself in the film in these weird situations that end up involving the vampires. But like, he's a newcomer to the town. Like, one decision that was made in this film that really annoyed me. He's a newcomer to this town. The English teacher invites him to the school to give a talk about being an author. And then I don't know what happens, but the English teacher finds out about the vampires. And instead of going to the cops or going to his neighbors or people that he's lived in this town with for 50 years, he goes to the stranger that just showed up in town to go, we have to do something about this. I'm like, how made for TV could you get with that crappy writing? Like, come on. When that happened, I was just completely taken out of it. The forgiving things about it, it took place in the 70s. That's one of the things I hated the most about it, was that they modernized it. So the book takes place in the 50s and the 80s. The movie that came out in 17 took place in the 80s and the 2010s, I guess, at that time. And I just didn't like that. There's the 50s are, there's a darkness to the 50s that made that book really work well, and there's a darkness to the 80s that made that book really well. When you modernize it, I don't know. There were just too much pandering going on with the It remake. But yeah, this was just bad. So Disco Balls, what did I give it? I'll give it a yeah.
I think you said that Bill Pullman passed away.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive.
Wait. Who died? What? Hold on.
Many people.
I could have swore Bill Pullman passed away. Wait.
So,
Who's the other one? There's Bill Pullman. Are you sure Bill Pullman's still alive?
this is funny. Okay. Bill Pullman, according to IMDb and according to Wikipedia, is still alive. Right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the president of Independence Day.
Yes, the president of Independence Day. Yes.
One of the best presidents ever in all of cinema. And so I went down that rabbit hole of, okay, who's Lewis Pullman? Lewis Pullman is this person's son, his mom. This mom is married to Bill Pullman. Click on Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman is married to Tamara Pullman and has 3 children. They list the children. Oh, there's a drop down. I screwed up. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of having 3 children in a row, it's one child's name. Then you have to click the drop down and then it shows you the other 2 children. But then you go down further and it says relatives. And the again, because I didn't click the drop down, the relative is sibling. And then in parentheses, sibling.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where like I think we've talked about this before. Is there like a Wikipedia aspect to IMDb where people are like updating their own stuff?
Oh, there is. There
Okay.
absolutely is. There absolutely is. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, but I
sorry,
don't
Bill
know who
Pullman.
I don't know who you thought like
So I could have swore Bill Pullman. So Val Kilmer is still alive, right? This is like after party content if I've ever heard of any. Anyway, hold on. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I did not mean to kill Bill Pullman. He is alive and well, apparently, allegedly.
Val Kilmer is also still alive.
Val Kilmer's still alive. Somebody died. I just don't know who, and I thought it was one of them. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to give this. I can't do 2 zeros in a row. So because there was a narrative to it, that's its only saving grace. Barely a narrative to it. And because Stephen King's name is attached to it, who is my hero, my Lord and Savior. If you're listening to this, Mr. King, the offer of dinner still stands. We'll talk about that in a future episode. I'm going to give it, and because the Lewis Pullman's love interest was super cute. Am I allowed to say that anymore?
Yes,
I am. Okay. Mackenzie Lee, super cute. And she was funny. And she was a good actress. I'll give it 2 disco balls. 2 disco balls.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go for the 1 there, but okay.
I was a toss up between 1. I felt like I had to make up for Francis Ford Coppola's disaster. So
you took away his disco ball and gave it to Mr. King. Okay.
That's right. Exactly. Who was an executive producer on this, which actually means very little.
They probably give him the cred so he can continue collecting royalty checks or whatever.
Exactly. So that was my. This was a very bad What You Watching for me. I apologize, but there's just a lot of crap coming out these days.
I mean, we've gone over these numbers, and maybe this is for another episode, but there's a lot of content being put out there. So that's why we put on this show, so you guys don't have to watch everything.
That's right. That is your PSA. Listen to What You Watchin' presented by Geeky A Go-Go. All right, Chris, why don't you take us out on that note?
Sure thing. Do you want more Geeky A Go-Go? Make sure you're following us on all the socials at Geeky A Go-Go and share with us what you're watching. Want cool stuff? Want to connect with us on a higher level, like on our Discord channel? Head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo and support the show. You'll get awesome swag and other perks. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're following the show on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. Thanks so much for listening. Peace out, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take me to your leader.
I screwed up that last sentence.
You totally did, but it's okay.